another one.
Diddy is facing yet another horrific allegation, but this specific lawsuit is also shining a spotlight on a tragic event that Sean Combs has been trying to avoid accountability for over 33 years. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and Diddygate continues. We will never stop, won't stop. Nope. As hard as they try, we are not giving up. And this was a case that actually was filed about 10 or so days ago by Tony Buzbee, yet another one. I know Busby's facing a lot of criticism, but he's still rolling out the lawsuits, it seems, right before the holidays. Yet another case came in where she was accused of R-ing and substancing a woman back in 1991. Now, Combs has denied, and as we said, we're not going to respond to every new publicity stunt, but yet they do. But he is facing new allegations, new R allegations. And again, this one was before he was really super famous. The alleged victim said it went down during the already infamous New York City event. Accusers filing as Jane Doe said she was attending a December 1991 charity basketball event at the City College of New York, which was co-sponsored by up-and-coming producer Sean Puffy Combs. Now, it was also sponsored by Heavy D. She and a friend were invited by an unnamed rapper set to appear at the event. She claims in the lawsuit when she got and her friend arrived, says the crowd outside was large and getting unruly, and she convinced a security guard to let her and a friend in early. Inside, they couldn't find the rapper, and the woman claims they were led to an office of the gym locker rooms where Combs had a makeshift dressing room. She says she didn't know Puffy was at the time and asked if he could help her meet up with her rapper friend, and Diddy said he'd make it happen. Now, this is where things take a turn. She alleges Combs handed her a plastic cup. He told her it contained Coca-Cola. She took a sip and immediately started feeling woozy, got up to leave, but she claims Combs blocked her. At that point, according to the suit by Tony Buzbee, he started to, touch him, his own, things, and then took charge. And when she said, didn't want to, she alleges he pushed her down, took it off and just R'd her. Afterwards, she said she told Combs she was going to tell her rapper friend what happened. She claims Combs threatened her not to do that because people can end up missing. Now, again, this is early. This is early in his career. Allegedly, he's already sort of setting the tone and creating this. Some might find that harder to believe. Others are going to say that makes total sense. But that's the pattern Tony Buzbee's out there to keep showing. Now, the accuser says Combs then left to deal with something at the event. She then found her friend. They made their exit in the suit. She says that the scene outside was chaotic and people running in every direction. She referred to the stampede that broke out because the 91 event was oversold. 9 people ended up dying at that event. Headliner was late great Heavy D, who was signed to Uptown Records, the label where Combs got his start. Now, this event, this big event, was where things really took a turn. This was, again, like I said, in 1991. 9 people were dead. At least 29 others were injured after an impatient crowd tried to push their way into City College gym to catch the game, where members of Boyz II Men, Run DMC, Jodeci, Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane were all playing. It was at the Harlem Basketball Gymnasium where it broke out, and it was all organized by a then small-time promoter going by the name of Puff Daddy, better known today as Diddy Sean Combs. There had been 2 lines set up, one for attendees who had purchased tickets, one who were going to buy tickets at the door. The 2 lines snaked their way into the building, leading to the building's lobby down a step, which was separated. However, only one door remained open for the organizers. By the time the thing started, the tensions reached a boiling point. They decided to close the doors to the building's entrance. Pandemonium erupted, and those outside rushed to get in, creating disastrous ripple effect of a sea of people shoving their way inside, pushing those down in front of them, glass windows toppling people down the stairwell, causing those at the bottom to be collapsed or surged in the gym doors. Awful. She still feels deeply affected about what transpired that night. Shamari Jones, now 50, she ended up being pushed through a glass window pane and people piled on top of her so she couldn't breathe. How we survived is myself and 2 friends. We got into a bathroom stall. There were literally people that were laying on the ground, and 3 of us got into the bathroom stall, and we hid in the bathroom until everything died down. Look, the information about this is horrific. 15 minutes before anyone realized what was going on, the game was still in full swing. When the doors finally opened to the gym, Those inside said the people had been pressed up against the walls like packed into sardines. An announcement came over that 3 people had died and the game was now canceled, instructing people to leave, triggering yet another stampede as people rushed to leave the gym. This has been compared to Astroworld, which, I've not been a fan of, and I've called out Travis Scott multiple times when we covered this. It seems like he's just going to get away with it, and no harm, no foul. Just some money exchanged hand. Somehow they bought all the victims out to not complain, which is really sad. But a lot of powerful people are involved in this lawsuit, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of them just paid a lot of money to make it go away. But several comparisons, including the amount of people lost, 9. Now, here's where things get interesting. Judge says rappers and state share the blame. Heavy D at the time and Puffy caused it. 50% of they bared 50% of the responsibility. Now, he was out there making a statement later. This was years later. City College is something I deal with every day of my life. Mr. Combs said outside the court yesterday, but the things that I deal with can in no way measure up to the pain that the families deal with. I just pray for the families and pray for the children who lost their lives every day. And that's what he claimed, but he never really took responsibility for this. And in fact, ironically, this past Saturday marked 33 years of the event. So I wanted to share this piece, end with you here, of CBS News speaking to some of the survivors and how they're trying to create
tributes.
Marks
33 years since 9 people died during a stampede at a celebrity basketball game at CUNY City College in Harlem. As loved ones prepare an event in their memory, one of the victims' brothers spoke to Jesse Mitchell about the justice he says never came.
The winter break calm seen across City College's campus seems very different than the scene on December 28, 1991, before the cheers that pierced through the silence of the night turned into screams.
This was the place to be.
Jason Swain was 17, hanging with his big brother Dirk, who was home from Hampton University. But he didn't join the group going to the student government-sponsored celebrity basketball game, hosted by Heavy D and little-known music producer Sean Diddy Combs.
And there was supposedly 5,000 in the gym, 800 in the staircase, and 1,000 right here.
Major stars from Run DMC to Jodeci showed up courtside, causing the crowd
Look at that footage. It's just horrific.
outside to surge beyond the capacity of security to contain.
They're here saying 1, 2, 3, push. And Dirk and the others are already down there.
The ensuing stampede crushed several and killed 9 people, including Dirk Swain. Their names now enshrined on a plaque outside the Nat Holman gym. At the time, the up-and-coming Combs was cut from his label, but no one was ever charged with a crime. Civil lawsuits filed by the families against him and 9 other defendants all reached out-of-court settlements. Swain has since turned his sorrow into a mission, spending decades interviewing other family members and witnesses and curating every camera angle available to capture the event in its entirety. But his efforts to release a documentary and book for a broader audience never fully developed until now, as the interest in Diddy's downfall rises.
Never even said sorry or, was accountable for it.
He calls it karma catching up to the fallen star, who is currently being held in jail without bail until his May 2025 trial on sex trafficking charges. Combs has pleaded not guilty. Through the Dirk Swain Foundation, painful memories of the past still fuel efforts to share the victims' stories. 33 years later, a new crowd will gather and pay homage to the CCNY 9. In Harlem, Jesse Mitchell, CBS News.
Oh, tragic story, but again, not surprising that Diddy was involved in something else horrific. Cut corners, didn't do it properly, tried to exploit the celebrities for his own, I'm sure, gains of probably tickets. Granted, it was for charity, but trying to impress himself. And he got cut from a label. That was it. Got cut from the label time, kept going. Never really had to bear any responsibility for this, even though it was said by the judge that he bared 50% of all the responsibility. That's a lot. That's half. Just tragic, but not surprising. Now, regardless of whether this case, again, the horrific specifics of this case aside, which are also awful, it's just not a surprise to me that there's yet more and more coming to light about this man and what he's done in his past. Oh, not a fan. What do you think? Are you surprised? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys who are watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that thumbs up and let us know what you think down below. Appreciate all you guys for watching. We got a lot more coming for you. Stay tuned here on Popcorn Planet.